Ahoy! Welcome to the Entrepreneur Center's podcast room in all of its glory. Now, this is a training video to help you learn how to set up not just a podcast, but a video podcast. Lesson number one, the door doesn't stay open by itself, and that's why we have a door stopper. So you can put that in there and keep the door open as you're getting set. Now, if you look, the room should look the same every time it is left after a show. And that's because we want to make sure everybody has what they need. The setup is always the same, where you have the two tables, two chairs, two mics. The cameras live over here, and we have 3 cameras on tripods, and they each have their own power source. The lights, there's a round light in the corner. You have 2 of these larger lights, which are going to be the doorway, and then over here. Now, this is how we want it to be set up whenever you're done. But you can rearrange this room however you want. You can move it. You can create any type of atmosphere. But when you're done, so you set it up so it's the same for everyone. If you are interested in a tutorial video on how to use the Rodecaster Pro and the podcasting equipment, we have a nice video for you at antrepreneur.uci.edu/podcast, where I get into details. Today, I'm going to focus more on the video setup if you're interested in having video as part of your podcast. Let me go put this away behind the door where it lives. All right. So the first thing we're going to do after checking all the equipment that is here is we're going to set up the mixer. Now this is our Rodecaster Pro, and in order to turn it on, there's a red button on the back here, which if you press for a long press, like a 1, 2, 3, and then let go, it will boot up. Now there's a lot of features, but there's only a few that you need to worry about. We primarily have 2 microphones set up, and that's on these 2 sliders is the main volume for it. If you look, these 2 microphones are set up on movable arms, and each of them have headgear or headphones with them. If you would like to have more than just a host and a guest, we got you covered. We have 2 more nice professional microphones that are set up, and if you'd like to set them up, find one of these attachments, goes onto the desk, and then it fits into the slot. Okay, so if you want more, you can set those up for yourself. It's default set up with 2. If you use more, please just leave 2 here because that's the most common setup. If you need extra headphones, they're hanging on the wall. All right, it looks like our Rodecaster has booted up, and so now we are going to check the settings. You want to make sure that these green lights are bright. That means that the audio can be heard across all channels. What you don't want to do is mute the channels. Mute means that they're a bright red. So you want to make sure that they are not muted, so light colors. You move them up into the top 2 ticks here, and then it's time for the memory card. We have a little case of goodies where we should have an SD card, a micro SD card, and it's going to be a very tiny one just like this. Then what we want to do is we want to put it into the back of the Rodecaster, and it's this little spot right here. It's got a little lock on it. It's kind of tiny, but you put it in there and you push for it to stick. You know that it sticks and that if there's memory, if this light turns green, looks like we're good. Now we're all set, and we want to then make sure that we have the headphones. We have 2 microphones, and we have these 2 headphones. Okay, so they're plugged in. If you wanted to have more, you would just plug them into 3 and 4. Now it's important to check the volume of the microphones in your ears, and this is, as it says, for the headset. So I'm going to put on this head, and I'm going to, wow, it's actually a little loud. So I'm going to turn this down a little, and now I'll talk into it, and that sounds pretty good to me. You'll then repeat that with the other headphones. You want to do this before your guests because you don't want to blow out their eardrums. Go like this, test, test, test. That's actually a little low, and so we're going to turn that up a little bit. Now test, test, test. Sounds perfect. Now, if you were to just be recording an audio podcast, you're ready to go. You get the microphone set up, get your guest set, and when you're ready, you hit this button. If you hit it once and turns red, it will be recording. If you want to pause, you can pause it and it will turn orange. Then if you want to continue to record, you press, it goes back to red. That way it keeps it all on one track if you have multiple takes. If you want to stop, you press and hold and it'll go back to green. And that is as easy as the setup goes for the audio component of the podcast. Now, if you want to have a video component, here's where it gets a little bit more complicated, but we believe in you. You can figure it out. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. First, we're going to go and get the camera set up. So if you look here, we have 3 cameras. Why 3 cameras? Because you want to have one wide shot that has both of the people or all of the people, and then you want to have a close-up on each of the host and the guest. So let's get them set up. I'm going to take this one. It's already plugged in, and we're going to get it set up so that it goes basically over the shoulder of the person who is here. And to turn the camera on, you go up here and you click it to camera. Okay? And if you look on this side, people get confused as to where to plug it in, but you plug it in here where it says the DC AC in. Okay? Don't plug it in over here. Plug it in over here in the back. All right, so this little camera will give you a view of what you're seeing, and you want to set it up so that when someone is sitting here, it's set up. Now, as you can see, you don't see my face. I'm a little lower here. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, move the camera back, and get it to where I will see my face over here. That looks a little bit better. I might even shrink down a little. And there I am. Now here's where the microphone is. We get all set up. Okay? So there's one camera. Now, since we're here, let's have the next camera be our wide shot. Take the USB-C. Again, we're plugging it here into the back. And then there's a power strip often nearby. Plug it in. We're going to flip this out, turn it on to camera mode, and then scoot it back. And we're going to try to get both people in the frame. Now let's set up the third camera. We're going to bring this over here. We're going to set this up here. Maybe this is where we close the door if we're all set and ready. And we're going to get this. We're going to plug it in. Here's an outlet. Remember, the power cord goes in the back. Okay. Then we're going to flip this. Flip it to camera mode up here on the top. And then we'll get it positioned for getting the other person on camera. Looks just good like that. Got it framed in. So if you look, we have one which will show both people, one camera that's going to shoot over the shoulder and get the other person, and the other camera that's coming back this way. So the cameras are set, but they're not plugged in to the A10 Mini. Now this machine is an amazing little device called the A10 Mini Pro. And there's no on or off switch. You literally just plug it in with this. So there's no on or off switch. You plug it in. Now in the back, as you'll see, there's a power cord. There's an HDMI out, which feeds this monitor. And then you have HDMI, there's 3 of them, and these run for the 3 different cameras. This is the audio, which pulls in from the Rodecaster, so that the podcast quality audio comes over here, and you plug it into mic 1. Click. Now, we have 3 of them plugged in here, but we need to now go plug these into the cameras. So if you look along the bottom wall here, we have preset these HDMI cables for them to run over here. Now, this one will set up for this, and here, let's see, where's the other one? Oh, it's run all the way over here, and it comes out over here. So we're going to use one HDMI for this camera, this HDMI for this camera, and then over here, we conveniently have another HDMI that is over here. Now, if you notice, some of them have the micro HDMI. That's what we need. If it's a full HDMI to the camera, you need the dongle. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over here into the front. I'm going to plug this into this right here. What this does is it plugs it in, and the camera feed should now show up over here on the monitor. So you can see that's camera number 3. Now we need to set up the other 2, and we need to find some dongles, some adapters. And if you look in here, here's one. It says HDMI intake to mini HDMI. Plug this in. This goes into the camera, and then it should reflect over here. So now it's showing camera 1 and camera 3. Now we need to find an additional dongle, which if they're not here at the top should be over here. And we're looking for this, a HDMI intake to mini HD. Taking this over here. We're going to plug it into this. And we're going to take this, plug it into here. Okay? This now should also register here. This screen at the top is your preview screen. This screen up here is what you're actually going to be seeing. And here's camera 1, 2, and 3. So check this out. When I press camera 1, camera 2, or camera 3, it changes. And this is how you can do a real-time edit. What we want to do is we want to find a place to save all this to. And so we have a SanDisk external drive, which in the back here, you plug into the USB out. Once you do that, you're going to see that this little green light will light up. It'll light up if it has memory. And when you record, that's the button that we're going to hit. So the last thing that we need to do is figure out how to connect the audio, which comes from here, from the ATEM. Now, as a default, the audio is turned off. So you need to press the audio on. Watch out if it's muted. You don't want it to be muted. You want it to be on. So just like that. All right? So now, technically, let's just think about this. We set up the Rodecaster Pro so that our microphone inputs are coming in and we can record them so that you can have a hard copy of just your audio just in case. We're taking the audio from the Rodecaster and we're patching that into the ATEM. We also have 3 cameras which are attached through these HDMI cables. And if you select camera 1 will show, camera 2 will show, and camera 3 will show. So the concept here is that you can produce your own show if you're talking with a guest, and if you want it to show both people, you hit the camera that shows both of you. If they're talking, you can hit the camera to aim on them, or if you're talking, you can have it aim on you. Now sometimes it's a lot of moving parts. If you just want to be in the conversation, it's good to have somebody who's like a show producer. And they can sit wherever you want as long as they have access to this, and they can determine which is which. Now I also want you to feel comfortable if, like for example, this one is the shot for both. But if you want that to be camera 1, you can unplug and rearrange these. So now camera 1 is going to show the double shot. camera 2 is going to show the person on that side, and camera 3 is going to show the other person. So that way it's easy, you can remember, and if you're podcasting, you can just have your fingers here, and if both people are talking, you hit that button. If the person over there is talking, you hit that button. And then back here, and you can always come back to the middle. So that is all set up. We just need to now make sure that the sound is coming through correctly. So if you look here on this monitor, some indications of audio. These ones over here are the cameras that are naturally picking up the audio, but this one on the far side, this one is what we need. This shows that audio is coming through to the ATEM. So what we're going to do is we're going to go test, test, and you can see that this line is coming up. Test, test, test. Now if you look, it's green, but it's not all the way up, and we can influence that. We can either turn it up on the ATEM, or we can turn it up on the Rodecaster. And so these buttons here, up and down, these are volume. So I'm going to hit this a couple times, and now you can see that as I'm talking, the level comes up to the green plus a little bit of yellow. Now it looks like there's a lot of yellow, so I'm actually going to go back and turn it down 1, 2, and now you have just a perfect amount of green with just a little bit of yellow. So that is how you set up the video podcast. Now it's time for the show. So I would sit here, I'd get set up, I'd make sure that this camera shows, I'd make sure that this camera shows me. If you flip it, then I can see. There you go. So I'm nice there. Good. And then the person over here, they would be talking and they would be in this position there. Then all you have to do is put on your headgear, and a very, very important part, you click record. So now we're recording there. And then you click record right there. And now we're podcasting. Welcome to the ANTrepreneur Center, where we help you start whatever you want, whether it's a business, a side hustle, or a creative project like a podcast. Brought to you by the ANTrepreneur Center. Talk, 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 talk. Smile, smile. We would actually produce. We'd go, that person's talking. Now I'm talking. Now we're both talking, and you're producing it. Okay. And what a great show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So great to have you here. And shout out to Austin for filming this thing. Good job, Austin. Yay. All right, good. We're done. We're going to do a long press on that. Then we're going to press stop over here. And now your video of the podcast, real-time edited with professional audio, will be on this hard drive. You plug it into your computer, drag and drop it, copy it over. Also, you likely, just so you have it, you can take the mini SD card out. You can get one of these little things and plug it in. You can stick this into your computer. It can also get the audio format down. That way you have pure audio, and then you also have audio plus video. And then it's just a matter of publishing it and continuing, because I think the stats say that 90% of podcasts don't make it past 7 episodes. So your goal should make it to at least 10 and then beyond. If you need any help, we're here to help you. But at the end of the day, to learn something is to do it yourself. And so we want to give you all the tools so that you can figure it out. All right, good luck on your podcasting journey. Let us know if you need any other help. And to book the podcast reservation, it's as easy as going to the website, antrepreneur.uci.edu/podcast, and you can book. Whew, what a show. All right, after the show, relax, have some water, and celebrate. Because every time you finish a project is one step closer to doing something. We'll see you soon. Adios.